Hey guys, I have my boys' earphones on. That is ridiculous.
Hello?
Hey,
Oh,
can
you're
you
loud.
look at these earphones?
But you I gotta turn you down. You don't sound like an alien.
I found these in my boys'
I like them.
pile because I have never worn earphones, so awesome.
I think we figured out so let's give everybody a clue. Have your phone turned sideways first and have headphones. That's the only thing. And take 4 months off of trying to do it, maybe, and do a rain dance beforehand.
It was echoing at the beginning and now it's not.
Okay. Okay. Let's just
We're
keep
gonna
this
beat
going.
the frickin' system, people. But my neighbors are gonna be like, can she shut her hole?
It's okay. It's okay. This is about personal growth.
Hey guys, thanks for coming on. We're rocking out our earphones this time because we got feedback every single time we've tried this, and no one is stopping our lives. That's what Amy and I decided. So, welcome everyone. This is Amanda Archibald from Colorado, and Amy, I don't even know where you're from. That's how little.
I'm in St. Louis, but I'm from Minnesota and Iowa, but I've been in St. Louis for decades.
That's right. Okay, so Amy and I met just on a get to know you call. I don't know, 4 months ago, 5 months ago.
Hmm.
And we just hit it off. Like she talks deep. I like deep talkers. And she's a phenomenal person that's been through so much training as well. But different training than I've been through. So we love just shooting the crap with each other. And today we're going to talk about perception of obstacles.
Mm.
So, welcome everyone that's on. We're excited to have you, and we're excited that we're not echoing. And I will find my iPhone. If you have kids in your life, then you know why I'm wearing these.
Hey, Sheila, how are you?
Sheila's a powerhouse, man. So, why don't you start with what we were talking about a little bit before we got on the call and get this ball rolling?
Yeah, maybe we should start recording while we're talking and catching up because it seems that's where everything's born from. But,
We
um,
should just press play before even saying
right?
hi.
I know, exactly. Yeah, we'll have to try that next time. So it's all about being in the moment and letting unfold what is supposed to be unfolding. However, you and I had started talking about a big project I was working on, am working on, and just the perception of obstacles or challenges, and we're not taught out there in the outer world that, these obstacles or challenges, if it's a better way for your mind to take it in, is really just a way for you to continue to grow. If we associate hard, painful with it, then the obstacle or challenge will be hard.
Sure.
And what do the obstacles mean? We like to keep it so out in the outer world of, oh, it's never going to work and this isn't going to happen. But maybe the universe is working with you. The obstacles are probably helping you grow to the place, or here's a better way. Kyle Cease and Michael Beckwith always say this: grow into who you need to become so that you can do that thing in the world that you want to do, right? And if we viewed obstacles as an opportunity to grow into what we want to offer to the world, it would be a different level of excitement and a different way to step into your day. I don't know. That's my
That
thought.
is true. That's true. So you just recently put out a huge thing that you've been sitting on for a while, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then it's like technology obstacles. It's like all these little buttons get pressed of like, you're not enough, you can't do this. What are you trying to do anyway? You know, it's like,
Yeah,
but you know from experience, like pressing through all of that crap, you will be on the other side. Like you've experienced that personally through other stuff, right? For sure.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I think my biggest lesson with launching this community is just what I want to teach, and then it what I want to teach is great, and what I want other women to know and other people to know. But the thing is, I have to become it first. So running
Yeah.
into these obstacles is a way for me to go, oh, so that's where I need to grow. And the thing that I really want to get out to the world and help them with and want them to know, I have to level up again inside. And we all just keep leveling up. But if we shift it
Mm-hmm.
to, oh, this is awesome. So I'm going to do it in real time. I'm going to learn more and do what I want to help people with and teach them with in this community. Then they have permission to do it themselves. I don't want to teach them. I want to be it first to give them permission to do it in their own way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you and I always talk a little bit differently, but we're all on the same page. It's pretty cute. But for me, I've always been taught take your test and make it into a testimony. And so
Mm,
if you're being tested, like I'll get out in some area, like I definitely have this last year, how am I supposed to encourage other women to pull their head out of depression, out of all these heavy, heavy things, loss, all of it, if I'm not willing to walk through it myself? And you better believe the enemy or whatever you want to call it um, is going to be an obstacle and
hmm
is going to be in your face saying, girl, you don't got this. I got this, you know?
hmm
And to push through that to the other side is so freaking liberating. Um, but yeah, why would I even want to teach about something if I haven't walked through it myself?
Well, and don't you think that a lot of us go through the growth, but then all of a sudden connect with this ego identity of, well, who am I? I mean, if I don't have my shit together, how am I supposed to do this? If I can't do XYZ, and it stops us because we're not good enough, we're not perfect enough, we don't have it figured out. Whereas shifting it to, no, the reason I'm doing this, it's never going to be perfect, but it's giving others permission to think of themselves first and to let them go through it in the way that they need to. But yet, watch me. I'm not the one that has it all together. Nobody is. But learn what you can from what I'm bringing to you, or Amanda, what you're bringing to women. And I think it's just really
Yeah.
the biggest thing is it's okay. It's okay to not have your shit together. You are still
Yeah.
amazing. You're still doing amazing things for the world and reaching people the way you want.
Well, so my thing has always been when I'm in front of a room of any sort is the full of shit aspect. Like if you can get to the point where you know you are full of shit and there is no subject that you could talk on from a clean, completely unhypocritical scenario. I mean, you've got it down so awesome, perfection. None of us have that in any
Mm-mm,
subject. And
mm-mm,
so if you can just give yourself the freedom to say, yeah, I'm full of shit. And I still have this huge community. It could be 5 women or it could be 5,000 women that see my stuff, that hear my voice. And it's going to be exactly who it's supposed to be for. But
mm,
what we were talking about with you is once we like step it up, like obviously that's not going to be 5 people. When we really step into our greatness, that's why I love these lives because thanks guys for coming on. I love these lives because you literally have no idea how many people it's reaching. And
mm-hmm,
that's almost fantastic for ego because if you can just step aside and be like, I don't have an attachment to who this gets to, perfect.
Or I don't have an attachment to what they think of me, what they think
Yes.
of what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? So the
Yep.
challenge is also with getting the word out, you and I were talking about, is there is this other side, this marketing side. And that was holding me up with just wanting to reach the women and bring them together in the way with the resources and tools that I have. But I get there's a strategy, and I get that I do have to get the information out there. But I decided to go forward without it being perfect, because I was not going to
Yeah.
sit here and wait on this outer thing when I just want to do. Because really, the more that I'm doing, I am up leveling my own game, my own
Yeah.
things that I want to bring, that I'm learning, that I'm helping other women learn, so we can do it together. And part of it too is just sitting with that, and saying, nah, this didn't exactly go right. And just letting that be there. And in, what a lot of people say is be a space for that.
Yeah.
Just watch the thoughts that come by. We'll want to push it down like, oh, then let me try harder, let me do better. And all of a sudden, because let's say the email campaign didn't look the way I wanted it to, and I do all this other stuff to push it down to not realize that. Whereas just sitting with that and going, yeah, that kind of sucked. Obviously, that wasn't the best. And letting that be and not define who I am. That's probably the
Yeah.
biggest growth out of the obstacle.
It's huge. Like I went on a live, I told you before we got on this, is I went on a live to, I don't know, I ended up completely bawling my head off. Like obviously there was an emotional piece to it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, was that wrong? Should I hit stop? No. I want to create the space that you can wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, rolled out of bed as a woman. I'm not less of a woman because I showed vulnerability. I've been told, luckily, I've had the gift of women in my life always cultivating my vulnerability. Um, but there's a piece of vulnerability, and this is totally rabbit trailing, but
That's what we
there's a
do best.
piece there's a piece that Brene Brown does on vulnerability. And when you're using it to manipulate a friendship because they know your secret or they know that vulnerability that not very many people know, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
Vulnerability that's used from a space of, hey, you got this, girl. Like, get on a freaking live. You have a voice. You have something to say. Like, if I can encourage you in that and you see me with ruffled hair and no makeup, like, you still respect me. You still think I'm the bomb. So, well, what are you waiting for? Like, the whole world is waiting for you, or your peeps are waiting for you. Your tribe is waiting for you.
Your soul is waiting for you to connect your personality with your soul and
Mm-hmm.
just go. It's all the attachments of the ego and the identities we've created based on those negative beliefs and stories that we don't even know are
Yeah.
actually running our lives. So when we can expand that awareness, didn't it feel good when you did that? Like the awareness is I am so much more than this outer thing or these thoughts or this belief that I have. You are the thing, the source inside. You're connected with that source,
Yeah.
right? And vulnerability is not one of my fortes. So I've always been working on that. But the more that I work on it and the more that I sit with it and see that, the crying a lot of times is healing. You may not know what it's for,
Mm-hmm.
but you're allowing emotions to come up that we just keep pushing down because we're not taught, hey, just sit and feel that. You don't have to do anything. Don't try and make it
Right.
go away. Don't create another addiction, whatever that might be. But there's thousands of addictions.
That's so true.
Yeah. And do you talk about this in your book?
You know what's funny is that Sheila, okay, first of all, hook up with powerhouse women that are not afraid to brag on you. Like, no kidding. Like, even when you have snot running down your face. And so, you know, one thing I was really open to probably about 5 years ago is just rocking out relationships with women that were powerful. Like I go to the top, I go to the person that created the event. I don't go to, I obviously make relationships with people in the room, but it's like, what do you have? Because that's how I want to up myself. That's exactly
Mhm.
why I signed up for some new leadership. Because I wanted to up my, she fuels my fire. Like I got up at 2 in the morning and started and wrote a blog. 2 in the morning. Okay, well, I guess it's time to get up and start doing what I say I'm going to do, right? So,
Mm. Good
but
for you.
yeah, I would say it's so I forgot your question already, but just women that are rocking out their own lives internally have the ability to like voice and get you out there, like no kidding. And that's how I want to get out there. I don't want it to be hard.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I want it to
No.
be, I'm so in my, so grounded in who I am that people want to share my voice. Like I actually have something to say.
And the way that you support other women with allowing them to understand they have something to say, that's the thing.
Mm,
Not just women, people, you know. But
people.
it just goes back to the obstacle. What we think is an obstacle, we think is outside of us. There are situations we can't control, but your thoughts about it, you can choose to attach to or not. And if you look
Right.
at internally, what am I doing? What do I want to do? What is trying to, Michael Beckwith, birth through me, he always says, who do I need to become? If I'm going to have this community of thousands of women, who do I need to become? That is a totally different question than what do I need to do? How do I need to figure out an answer? How and figure out straight from the ego, right? And so you've been in a space where you've been asking, who do I need to become? What do I need to shed? What doesn't serve me? What thoughts don't
Mm-hmm.
serve me? You know, and you've been growing, and when it goes on forever, there's I think we think we're so static. Like we get to this place and I got it. If you're
Oh.
comfortable, it's time to move, you know?
Oh, that's what you were asking me. You were asking me if I had written that in my book, and I was gonna say, the funny thing about putting stuff out there is you will have a chance to be an absolute hypocrite. And so,
Yes. Yes, I like that.
and you will find this out when you start rocking out your thing too. Um, but like I wrote a book on how to walk through loss, love, and forgiveness with humor. And because I have a fantastic sense of humor, and this last year I chose out of humor completely. Nothing was funny. Everything was like, are you like rage almost? Not almost, it was rage, it was bitterness, it was um complete loss. And I have this book just sitting on my shelf going, you just taught people how to love through loss and forgiveness. It's like, whatever, you don't have anything to say. And so, but that is accountability for me to say, you know what, that was a person that I absolutely loved in myself, and I will get back to that person. And that book holds me accountable for my words, truly, so that I'm not being a hypocrite in every aspect of my life.
So what if you don't have to get back to that person? What if that person just continues to evolve? What if
Just
that
be
still
better.
is, yeah, that
Yeah.
still is a part of you? And there,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not all positive and happy. I think everybody thinks, let me say an
I,
affirmation, let me do a gratitude, let me do a vision board, let me sprinkle my joy, and life is great. No, it's about when you're doing the inner work and you raise your vibration, like literally there's a
yep.
vibration,
Mm-hmm.
that allows you to be in a place where you choose joy easily and more often. And that's where you your new normal is, right? And we start to leave the reaction phase and be in this space,
And
right?
that's what you're saying. What do you call, what's your terminology? You
What did I say? Up
what
level?
up level. Yeah, I've heard that term
Up
a
level.
lot, but I've never. So that's great right there. Like instead of me trying to get back to who I used to be, this is me up leveling, saying,
Hmm.
so that's exactly what we're talking about. So here's the obstacles right in front of me, like shit obstacles. And now I have to up level if I want to rock this, what I'm truly, truly called to do, which I know is right. I
Yeah,
know it's to
because
right.
what your purpose is, your soul's purpose is, it's inevitable. Like
Mm-hmm.
I read that somewhere, I can't tell you I would, but when I read the words, it's inevitable that your purpose will come out. But we create so much struggle and hard work
Mm-hmm.
because of free will of choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's inevitable, then sit back and chill the hell out for a minute. Like just chill
Totally.
out, right? And
Yeah.
just be with yourself and just say what you're feeling. Wow, this is extremely uncomfortable to be like this. I'm really pissed off, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And allow that to come up and know that this obstacle isn't something you have to figure out. It's not a problem. I just talked with my son the other day, and here's a hypocrite. Me talking to him about how to perceive a problem. Like, if you want to know if you're a hypocrite, do work like this and then
Have
have a
kids.
family, right? My husband and my kid. What is this shit you're doing out there? You don't do it at home. It's like, I'm up leveling, I'm practicing, you know? But,
Up level this.
right? Up level this. That's been said. That's been said. Um, yeah, so talk about being a hypocrite. And it's like, I don't have it figured out, but I know that if I view problems, if my perception is there's problems and I have to figure it out, it takes me off center of, oh,
Mm-hmm.
wait, there's this thing that I want to do. And it can be a big, Oprah-sized thing. People know what that means. Or it can be just a thing. It doesn't have to be a massive, where the world knows thing. Whatever it is you want to
Yeah.
do, and you start saying, oh, here's an obstacle. I must need to up level. Who do I need to become right now? Just right now. That's the key. Just right now, today, Amanda, who do you need to become? Not who you want to be in 6 months or tomorrow. Just for right now.
Yeah.
And just
And
look
that's
at that.
taking one bite at a time.
Hmm.
Because if you want to go into absolute overwhelm, definitely start looking at the goal that's like about 2 years out, and
Hmm.
you will stop yourself every time.
Hmm. Yep,
And
because it
so
goes
just,
right into, how do I do this? I got to figure it out. So your brain and subconscious just keep searching for ways to not know it,
yeah.
because you're focused on not knowing it. So let's keep it a problem. Does that make sense?
So, yeah. So let's talk about another rabbit trail of what is daily routine for you to stay grounded in not getting into doing, but actually making your time so valuable because you're so grounded that day. And we know what ungrounded looks like. Let's talk about, everyone knows what ungrounded looks like.
So that's a great question. Grounded feels completely different. I don't know what it looks like, but the
Mm-hmm.
feeling is almost indescribable. And what I do is meditation. Now, I know we've all heard about it, but pretty much the last year and a half, it has been a regular practice of mine. Now, some days might only be 10 minutes, but I can say for the last year and a half, it's an hour to 2 hours.
Nice.
Not first thing in the morning, like get out of bed and do it, because I'll go back to sleep. But get out of bed, shower, get something to drink, maybe get the kid off to school or whatever, and then sit down. And it has been a complete shift. Like the feeling of peace of knowing everything is in divine order. The anxiety, very rarely there. The fear is easy to spot and to dissolve. It plans out my day. So what I thought I might need to do, let's say if it's Sunday night, what I thought I might need to do on Sunday for Monday usually dissolves. And there's a lot of things I
Yeah.
don't end up needing to do. And the biggest thing is time stops. Time literally, when we meditate, I believe stops. It just,
Oh,
I've
that's
literally
interesting.
had a time where I've looked at the clock and I swear it said 10:30 a.m. the whole day. But when I am meditating, time stops. You don't hear me saying I don't have time. And I probably
Mm-hmm.
need to dose that up and hit another dose at about 5 and meditate again. Because at about 5 is when I feel it wears off and I'm like, I don't have time. I have too much to do. But it is a huge internal shift of being here and focused and calm and actually joyful. And
Yeah.
the obstacles that come up are easier to overcome.
Yeah, I would totally agree. For sure, I sit down and I've really tried to leave my phone on my bureau, like not even get pulled into
Mm-hmm.
what I need to do for others or expectations possibly of others. When I go straight to, um, I call it quiet time. We always have different terms, and I love that because it helps everyone hear a different term, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I sit down and I have like three devotionals that kick my butt. Like they are not about self as far as like what are
Mm-hmm.
you going to bring the world, you know? They're not pity party, woe is me, Eeyore stuff. And even if I feel that way, I step through and I journal for the day. Um, I don't know if those will ever be used as a legacy piece for my boys. I can't imagine my boys sitting there reading through my journals, but it's for me for that moment. And the days that I choose that, I love how you said time stops for you. I've always seen it as time doubles for me. Like I
Mm,
feel like I have all the time in the day now because I've
yes.
gotten grounded, and it's like you can quickly make decisions like, nope, that doesn't fit into my day. No, I'm not going to answer that call. I know exactly what that will be for me is pulling me off track. Can I text that person and check in and or whatever, like quality quick decisions instead of getting pulled. I love when people come up and want to be on your video. Can you see that? There's like a foreigner that wants to be on our video, but
Oh, no, I can't see it.
he's he's not coming on. So
Good call. Well, something you said about what was it? The things coming up, what you're going to do, what you have to respond to. It's just time actually doesn't exist because I don't think about I need to know what time it is. It's
right.
just
Yeah.
happening the way it's supposed to be happening. And, like you said, meditation is what I call it. But some days I do what you say. I've got 3 or 4 books that I'm always kind of reading and devotional mindset ish ones. Sometimes it's just reading a couple sentences out of it and just meditating
Mhm.
with that. You know,
Sure.
don't put any rules on it because what if it changes
Yeah.
tomorrow? But the
Right.
discipline I've created is to have that time. And like you said, I don't, unless working on a project like I have the last couple of days, I don't get on the phone. I don't look at email. I don't look at Facebook. It is totally me right here. I might do some audible, on something I'm learning to fill my soul while I'm getting
Mhm.
ready. But I make sure I don't do any of the outer world stuff first. And there is a whole difference when I do that versus when I get off track and miss 3, 4, 5 days. I now have done it enough that I can feel the contrast of what it feels like to jump right into your day and go do all these things versus give yourself that gift of
Yeah.
connecting inward and going out. And I want the gift. I want that one now because
Yeah.
I don't like the struggle when I do it the other way.
And do you think like when you are in a place of where you're not grounded, you come from a more, I'll speak for I come from a more controlling space.
Mm-hmm.
And so when people infringe on my time, I'm rude. But if
Mm-hmm.
I'm grounded, I come from a space of, oh, cool, let me get back to you. Or, yeah, let me see if I can fit that in, instead of, no, this is my time and I have to get this done. You know, especially with kids, it's like, holy crap, that's horrible to live with.
It is. I jump right back into ego of, oh my gosh, I can't. I have to do this. I have to do that. You're taking my
Mm-hmm.
time. I don't have time for it. Why? Because I feel what? I feel not productive. I feel like I'm not accomplishing. Here's what a good friend of mine pointed out to me. I'm addicted to results.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm spending quality time or I'm not doing something that's going to get me a result, to get me approval for the outer world, that's when I need to check myself and go back to what is it I'm feeling then. Because
Yeah.
getting that approval or getting that a result isn't going to give me what I'm wanting. It has to come from in here. Otherwise, I'd be fine because I've had a lot of amazing results, right?
Yep. I mean, for me, the thing that keeps me in a space of franticness, which I really try to stay out of quite often, but is my rules on myself of what I said I was going to do. There is no one else that I'm checking in with. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
literally am stressing my own self out.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one, I'm self employed. There is no one telling me that I need to have this done today.
So when you sit with that, when you take a second and just sit with a thought that you've had about something you needed to get done that you didn't, then what's underneath that? What comes up for you when you feel, I said I was going to get 20 things done and I didn't? Like underneath that, what do you feel?
Um, Emotion wise,
Mm-hmm. Or thought, like what?
yeah, I'm not enough. I'm not doing enough is what comes up for me. And I don't mean enough like I don't feel like people like me and I don't feel likable. That's um I mean more like if I don't get it done today, then it gets added to my tomorrow and all this. So I'm reading one thing again, like the second time around, because the first time I read it, it was so disruptive for me. And so I'm excited to read through it again and hear it from a completely different perspective. And the whole gist of that book is if you got this one thing done, no matter what, every single day, you would rock out your life
Mm-hmm.
because your soul would be calm and complete. And he has you go through that list of to-dos, and a lot of times, like you were saying, when you're grounded, that list of things will like, okay, that's not important anymore, this isn't important, I could delegate that, this can go away. Is that really in alignment with what I want to do right now? No. Okay, well then take it off the list. If it's
Mm-hmm.
truly supposed to be something you need to complete, believe me, it will come back up again.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I like to do brain dumps where I sleep awesome. I've slept awesome through the most horrific things of my life. I sleep awesome. It's a gift. I'm thankful and I will keep it forever.
Yes, do.
um, but one of the things I do to sleep well is I just have like a notebook size like this and I just write, I brain dump. This is what I want to remind myself of. And then I put them in order. And a lot of times I end up tossing some of them because I'm not going to focus on that. And then when I take off on my day, and we should go soon because my phone is dying. When I take off onto my day, I put them in order and I go all the way up to that one that's like, I could do that tomorrow. It feels amazing.
Hmm.
Like I feel very accomplished and calm and great. I'm working towards my goals. So what is there to complain about?
Right, because it's the
But
feeling that's under it. So when you feel calm and secure and
yeah,
safe and have certainty, it isn't really about those outer things,
right.
right?
Yeah.
All right, girl.
So we're so thankful for each other. I know this. We met a long, I don't know, 6 to 8 months ago, Amy and I, on just a call. And you had never done a live, right? Was
I
your first live with
had,
me?
but not, no, I'd done lives,
A,
but
a group one or a,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So
where it was
we
about
just,
other people.
yeah, calling in. Um, so we just said we're going to get on the phone together and we've planned several of them. And we have not been able to do this for months because it kept echoing. And so I finally heard you got to put earphones on. And this morning I couldn't find a dang pair in my house. And so that's why you see these amazing, like, these are solidly awesome in the world of a 13-year-old. So, working working past my programs of looking good and always, and
Oh, you're
Amy and
funny.
I just, the cool thing about Amy and I is we don't even talk between the months. Like we support each other on Facebook and stuff, but we know we have a call at 10 on Monday and we have no clue what we're going to talk about. We don't discuss it. We just go, "Hey, what do you want to talk about?" "Okay, cool, let's get on." And that is such a gift. And if you can find a person you can shoot the crap with and have it actually be valuable,
Hmm.
keep that person in your life for sure.
I feel the same. Yeah, because I come away vibrating higher and
Yeah.
it's everything's back into perspective and I'm encouraged. And so I appreciate and love you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys again. I just want to put it out there to my peeps. If you ever want to be on a live, I'd rather do a live like this instead of just me. And so let's talk. Let's talk about, we're not going to make it hard though. So if you want to make it hard, I'm not signing up for that. But if you want to jump on and just shoot the crap with me, that would be awesome. I'm sure Amy feels the same way. She's a true giver. And thank you guys for your time. And hope you definitely put, if you've watched this on the replay, and share if you have a friend, tag people in our live that it would support. And always remember that if you have a creative in your life, like Amy and I, the biggest gift you can give to a creative is sharing their creativity. And so hit share, hit tag. That's huge for us. It's huge for our
Hmm.
exposure. And we have no clue what we're going to be in 2 years, but we have an idea. We have no idea how we're going to get there. But I truly believe these lives are one of the avenues. So thank you for sharing us to your people. And we hope you have a blessed day.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Amanda. Talk to you later.
Bye, girl.
Bye.